Hey everyone, it's Asia Dang and welcome to, I always say it's like this month's budget, but really it's a combination of last month's budget and then what's going to happen this month. So it's kind of like welcome to my April-May budget. I always have like conflicted feelings about me titling these as like May budgets. Anyways, first of all, before I forget, if you guys remember last year I was having major issues with our utilities being incredibly expensive. I think it was like $400 for a 2-bedroom. And someone recommended I actually download this app called Arcadia. And basically it says we make clean energy an easy choice. So when you create a free Arcadia account, this video is not sponsored, by the way, we connect you to clean energy and then that helps you spend less. So it kind of is combining two things that I'm very passionate about, saving money and then also trying to figure out healthier ways of living for our environment. And I have to say, I quite like it. It was very easy. So this connects to our LADWP account, and then it offsets some of our electricity use with clean energy. So and the reason why I bring this up is because it has also, as it said, has saved us money. So our bill went from $400 to $200, and that's over, I think the bill period is like 2 months. So we definitely have saved quite a few bills. And a lot of you have actually asked me how the utility situation is going. So I don't honestly know if that is because of Arcadia or because of it being how it was like really rainy in LA. Because that also, I think the reason why our bill was so high during the summer is, from what I was told by the people at LADWP, is just that when it's really hot, our utilities are just working overtime to keep everything like nice and cool, like the refrigerator and stuff. So I honestly don't really know what exactly the difference is, but I'm just going to go ahead and say that the Arcadia app has definitely helped. And like I said, one of you guys recommended I try it out, and it was free to use. It didn't cost us anything additional. And as you can see, 50% clean energy matching, which is really cool. And it says 0.8 tons of CO2 averted. So I don't know, you might want to give it a shot. You do have the option of actually also using wind energy, I believe, but that is at a cost. And I tried to do the payment breakdown and it ended up just not being worth the money to do wind. So that would allow your your energy bill to be 100% renewable. But like I said, it did come at a cost and it was actually quite expensive in my opinion. So we're just using the clean energy, the 50% match clean energy that is free by using the Arcadia app. And again, our bill is $200, which again is significantly lower than what it has been over the past couple months and over the past year. So just wanted to give you guys an update on that. Anyways, that is a side tangent because again, I don't pay for the utility bills, Brian does. But again, you guys have asked me how is it going, and that's how it's going. But now here is the breakdown of my budget. Savings, added a lot to savings, 32% of my income, and I'll tell you exactly why that happened. Rent was 13%, food 6%, and even though I actually spent less in food overall in the month of April, the percentage is roughly the same as January, February, March's food percentage. Dogs, everything else was quite low. Dogs, home, personal, equipment, travel, I did have to travel this month, which obviously I would not recommend, but I'll get into that more. Get more into that later. And then health 5%, and then gifts and donations was 10%. So pretty much is kind of the same as the past couple months. Savings, rent, and donations have been my 3 highest percentages over the past couple months. And then everything else has also gotten lower. Personal has been significantly cut. Fuck, man. my lash lady is moving to Korea and I am so upset. And it's not like for selfish reasons, but she was planning to move next year, but because of COVID, it wasn't financially, I guess, it just made more sense for her financially to move up her timeline too soon. So I'm so bummed. And then this month, 2 places that I normally go to shut down forever. A coffee shop down the street, like literally walking distance, that Brian goes to, and then a restaurant that I love. Ugh, it's starting already. I love a restaurant that I love closed down for good because they just couldn't find financial ways to keep running during this time. And they were a really expensive restaurant too. They were one of, how Brian and I love to go to like these chef tasting restaurants. They were one of those restaurants, Auburn. And it was actually our plan to go, or my plan, to go back to Auburn after everything died down. And I guess can't do that anymore because they closed down. It's so upsetting to see it happening. And we've only been in lockdown for like a month in LA. So it's just really upsetting for me to start seeing all these small businesses close down, not only restaurants, but like I said, my lash lady. And it's starting, guys. It's really upsetting. I spent a lot on things that I didn't think I would spend money on this month. I had to get 2 cars detailed this month, which was very expensive. That cost me about $600 and an expense I did not expect to pay. However, 2 things happened. One, Luke, which also goes into my dog payment, had a terrible allergic reaction to something, and we still can't figure out what it is because he did have one of my followers on Instagram recommended that I try to do this allergy test called Hemopet. And I actually just got the results today, and turns out he's not allergic to any like food. So it has to be something in the environment, but he had a horrible reaction to that in April, and we had to take him to the emergency room, which doesn't help, but which contributes to my dog expenses. However, bringing it back to the car is the medication they gave him makes him, I guess one of the side effects was urinating a lot. And Luke's never had an accident. Both of my dogs are potty trained, but I was driving to the compost and I had both of my dogs with me, and Luke was like freaking out. He was running back and forth in the car while I was driving, and I'm like, what is happening here? Because that was also one of the side effects when we brought him back from the vet. Was it seemed like he was on cocaine. His energy was through the roof, so I thought that was kind of what was happening, but instead he was letting me know that he really, really had to pee, and that didn't even cross my mind because he's never had an accident in the car before. And then guess what? 10 seconds later, he pees in the car. And it wasn't my car. It wasn't Chen-Li Fiat. It was Brian's Tesla. So I paid to have that car completely detailed because Luke's pee lasted like 20 seconds. I don't know where he held it, but that happened all over Brian's Tesla, and it was terrible. And then 3 days later, I've never had to clean pee from any cars since the 32 years that I've lived, but in 1 week, I've had to clean 2 cars from dog pee. And the second one happened because I went to rescue a dog in somewhere up north, and I was driving my Fiat and he peed in my car. So that's why I spent so much more money on car detailing than ever in my life before. So that was, that was about $500, $600. But I found a really good mobile car cleaner, and they did a great job. Our cars don't smell like pee anymore, but again, that cost a lot of money. And then of course the vet visits, the ER visits, and then the homeopathic test for Luke cost a lot of money as well. And then travel. My grandma passed away. Not COVID related. She had dementia. And it was time. And she's been in the kind of nursing facility for a while now, and they basically told my mom, it's my mom's mother, my mom and her family, that it was time to say goodbye. So everyone was able to say goodbye, but I did go to Ohio last week, I just got back yesterday, to, you know, say goodbye to her, and then to attend her funeral. And of course, that's not expected, and I would never, if it wasn't something like that, I would never travel. You know, Brian and I have been in quarantine since this whole thing started, so we've been very cautious about stuff like that. But yeah, I jumped on an airplane for my grandmother. But fortunately, like I said, I fly for free because I fly standby, because my parents both work for United Airlines, and because no one is traveling, I had no problem getting on. So that was good. However, because no one's traveling, there are less flights going out of places. So I had to fly into Akron, Ohio. And then on my way back, there was only 2 flights going out of Akron to Chicago, which is where I had to go before leaving, going to LA. And then the first flight got delayed, and then I ended up missing my connection, and that postponed my travel day 10 hours. So it was pretty rough couple days. But that's why I had to travel. And then now that I'm back, I'm even more cautious about self-quarantine for the next 2 weeks. I did, LA is, I think LA County is the first county or city, I'm not sure, that is actually doing free testing for everyone, not just if you have symptoms of the coronavirus. So Brian and I actually have, it's a drive-through and it's a mouth swab, but we have an appointment to do that on the 5th, and today is the 1st. So I'm going to be very cautious about what's going on or where I go, and just protecting myself and other people, because I know that before I left for Ohio, I didn't have the virus, just because we haven't been in contact with anyone. But if I do have it, it's because of my traveling. So until I get that test done and then the results back, I'm going to be very, very cautious of my movements moving forward for now. Home goods, I actually paid, last month I paid for our renter's insurance for the whole year. It's a great deal. Again, if you don't have renter's insurance, I would highly recommend it. I tell the story all the time. I talk about renter's insurance. Is the first year that we ever had renter's insurance ever in our lives, I set a kitchen fire, and then we had to move, and it was a mess. And if I didn't have renter's insurance, I would have been out $30,000. But because I had renter's insurance, it was covered and I didn't have to worry about it. So my renter's insurance for the whole year is $300. So again, 100% worth it. If you don't have it, a lot of the big facilities or the big apartment complexes in LA have that as a requirement before moving in. But again, if you do not have renter's insurance, please, please, please do get it. 100% worth it. Now, I wanted to bring something up which I thought was interesting. Is a couple budgets ago, I was mentioning my Invisalign and how every month it's a $500 payment. And someone asked if I thought that was debt. And I actually don't think it's debt, I guess, because one, I actually put aside cash to pay for it all, but since, you know, all the offices are closed, I can't give them this money to pay it off. So right now they're just taking money out of my account every month. But also, I guess, like, do you consider health insurance debt? Do you consider car insurance debt? I don't know. I just don't consider Invisalign my debt. But I guess that was a really thought-provoking question. I mean, I guess it just is your preference. Again, I don't consider it debt because I just don't consider health insurance debt, and I kind of think it's all the same. And then also I can pay it off in full. I actually put aside money to pay it off in full, but they want to continue with the payments until I'm able to go into the office again. So I don't know. That's a good question though. Why don't you let us know in the comments? Would you consider something like Invisalign a debt? Again, I consider Invisalign and car insurance and health insurance kind of like along the same thing. I don't know if that's right or that makes sense, but to me, I don't consider it debt. But have that conversation in the comment section. That was a very thought-provoking question because I had never thought of it like that. So thank you. I forget who wrote it down in the comments in the video a couple months ago, but good point. I don't know. Up to you. Oh my God. And I almost forgot to tell you guys, for the first time in, hey, where is it? For the first time in my entire life, I got a tax refund. I got a tax refund from the state of California for $1. Guys, I never get tax refunds ever. I always owe money. Oh, I need to do my quarterly taxes. I got $1 back from the state. How incredible is that? What am I going to do with you, $1? What should I do? Let me know in the comment section, what should I do with my $1 tax refund from the state of California? Please. Yeah, I mean, everything else is kind of the same. Health insurance. Oh, yeah. Equipment was a little bit higher in the month of April just because a lot of things were due last month. So I had to renew kind of like my Bluehost, which is where my website is hosted on, and a couple apps that I use to edit photos. I had to renew those. And then Zoom. I'm doing my podcast via Zoom these days, and I had to upgrade to, I guess, the professional one. Excuse me, which is $15 a month. But I feel like I can kind of cancel it once we're able to go back to in-person interviews. But those are things that I had to spend money on for equipment as well. So I did contribute $5,000 to my savings fund, which means hopefully by the end of May, I will have a fully funded emergency fund. Again, my emergency fund, I'll put the video about where I go into depth about my decisions about why I want this amount, but my goal was $40,000, but now that I'm actually at $30,000, I feel like I'm just going to add another $5,000. I think I'll be okay, and then I can start contributing to retirement and putting aside money for like a what is it called, down payment. And then also next year, Brian and I were discussing kind of just getting one car together because we have two, but just starting to save up money to buy just one used car. So there's things that I want to start planning for. And again, just really quickly, my savings fund, my emergency savings fund, not only includes my expenses, but also expenses from Brian. So if we do break up, I'm able to live in this apartment by myself until our lease is up, which I think for me is, I think just for women in general, or just anyone in general, I think it's just really smart to protect yourself like that, even though we're not going to break up at all. I think it's just smart to protect yourself against something like that. And then it also includes an emergency fund for the dogs in case they have an unexpected surgery, which we've had twice for Luke. So it is a lot of money in my emergency savings fund, but it is encompassing a lot outside of just my expenses. So I'm going to do, once my emergency fund is fully funded, I'll do a whole new video about what my plans are going forward. But yeah, there's that. But I bring that up because I was a part of a settlement, and I never talked about it because it's very weird, but I'm sure you've heard the news that one of the gynecologists at USC actually sexually sexually abused a couple patients. And basically anyone who saw that gynecologist was able to get money from the school. So I got $2,500 because I saw him once. And then of course, if he violated you in any way, you would get more money. However, he didn't violate me. I honestly don't even remember really. I remember seeing him, but I don't remember the experience just because it was just a normal gynecological appointment. So I contributed that entire $2,500 into my emergency savings fund. It's not something I would honestly rather have not had the money. I would have preferred to not ever have that experience, but yeah, all that money I put aside into my emergency savings fund. And it's just like, it's such, just, I mean, it's weird to have a check like that, but honestly, it came at a really great time. And I know my girlfriend who also saw him and also got a check from USC said the exact same thing. So it didn't even occur to me that these payments would be coming. So it was a nice little treat to get a $2,500 settlement check in the mail in April. And again, I wish, just like getting that check and then my grandma passing away and then just other news from my other alma mater, and it's just emotionally exhausting right now. And also I haven't been getting any sleep, which doesn't help either. But yeah, that's basically it for my budget. Nothing particularly new. Next time I do a financial video in May, it will be because my emergency fund is fully funded, and then we will talk about what the plan is going forward. For the month of May, travel should be zero, car should be significantly down, transportation should be significantly down, and yeah, I think that's it. I do want to mention, I have been toying, if you guys remember my 2020 goals video, put it in the cards, how I wanted to kind of do this whole series about helping you guys budget. I feel like I might want to start that in May. And if you want to be a part of this video, since it's not fully thought out, I just probably want to find one person for now, where obviously it'll be virtual, but where you show me your budget, tell me what you are hoping to do financial goal wise, and then I'll help you kind of figure out a budget that works best for you. So I'm gonna go ahead and maybe put together a Google Doc of if you guys want to maybe be a part of my video. You would have to be 100% comfortable, one, being online, showing your face, talking about money, talking about your money. You have to be me, essentially. You have to be okay with sharing this really personal information because I will be posting it on my channel. So yeah, if you might be interested in being a part of that, again, link to that will be in the description box. I haven't created the Google Doc yet, but it'll probably be kind of like, where do you live? Maybe how much debt you have, and then like any financial goals that you want to start planning for. And then you will have to go through kind of like your expenses for the past couple months. I do just want to warn you, if you haven't done a budget before, it'll be a very, very uncomfortable experience. It's like the worst thing. Going into your bank account for the past 3 months and like seeing exactly where you spend your money is the single worst part of the process. But I promise you, once it's done, you'll feel way more in control of your finances than you do now, if you haven't done that before. So yeah, just wanted to put that out as an option because I might want to start opening that up soon. But yeah, that's it for me. I'm Asia Dang. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any comments, concerns, questions, in the comment section. If I don't respond, again, this community is very lively, so someone will answer your question. But yeah, that's it. I'm Asia Dang. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.